Dear friends, I'm very happy to meet you once again, and I would like you, as I always do, to like and share this video in order to help. As you know, the Western Nazis, I say the Western Nazis, be it the US, United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, all the others, the Western Nazis, because they are not better than the Nazis. They are here in this world. They will see how hideously Israel is bombing Gaza every day. Israel is sending soldiers in hospitals in order to kill people who've been operated on or who've been injured in the West Bank. Israel is forbidding the entry of cars full of aid, of humanitarian aid at Ashkelon. Israel is preventing those Israeli people, citizens and Israel is preventing those trucks from passing in order to go and help the Palestinians who are starving to death, who need medicine, who need water, who need flour, but who can't see flour. They have seen all those kinds of crimes committed by Israel. But they do help Israel in those crimes which it commits. They do send tons of bombs to Israel in order to bomb the young Palestinians, the mothers who have nowhere to go, the population of Gaza who have nowhere to go, who have fled from the north, who have fled from the south, and who are now going to Rafah, who are now next to the sea. And they'll be finding them there and be bombing them with those bombs who've been sent by the United States, the United Kingdom, and others. So they are Nazis. They do not believe in human rights. Yes, they believe in human rights when it is about people who live in a country which president or which leader is not aligned to the Western interest. Like in Syria, like in Libya, in Iraq, or in Afghanistan. They talk about human rights whenever they want to throw down a leader who is not aligned with Western interest. But when it is people from Palestine, from the global south, from Palestine who are suffering, that doesn't disturb the Western leaders. They've seen police, military people enter in a hospital in the West Bank and kill Hamas and Islamic Jihad fighters there who have been injured and who have been admitted in hospital. They killed them with their guns. They disguised themselves as doctors, as nurses, and they went there and killed those people. They violated the Geneva Convention about injured fighters. They don't matter. The Geneva Convention is here in order only to protect Western interests. When the West wants to topple a regime in order to put at its place a subjugated regime, They violate Geneva Conventions. You know it. We've seen it. I told in my last video I told about. Okay, it's good for South Africa to go to the International Court of Justice in order to push an accusation against Israel for genocide. The International Court of Justice has given a ruling saying that yes, it's plausible that via Geneva that genocide has happened in Gaza. This is plausible, though the judges didn't vote for a ceasefire. They could have voted for a ceasefire, because you can't ask Israel to behave like this and that without calling for a ceasefire. The ICJ gave its ruling, but the United States and the West said that they'll be helping Israel as they used to help it before. And when Israel said that no, 10 people were among the workers of UNRWA were among those who attacked on the 7th of October, Israel, immediately, we've seen the United States, UK, Germany, and other Western countries stop their aid to UNRWA. And now it's inadmissible, it's unacceptable that UNRWA workers, because UNRWA workers have behaved in a manner that shouldn't have behaved like. And they stopped their aid to UNRWA. 12 people. An allegation concerning 12 people among more than 13,000 or 15,000 workers who work for UNRWA in Gaza, inside Gaza. 12. And it's only an allegation without any evidence. Israel has given no evidence for those kinds of things it claims. And we know that Israel is used to lying. They lied here about the Baptist hospital, which has been bombed by Israel, and they said no, it was a lost missile from Islamic Jihad. Biden agreed with their explanation. They attacked Shifa hospital. They said no, Hamas had a bunker there inside this hospital, which it had been using as a command center. They show things which are laughable. Arms next to an IRM. It was all lies. They killed people, civilians who were in the hospital. Lies. They prevented babies from having their oxygens. They bombed Al-Shifa hospital. They Nasr hospital. Now they are bombing all hospitals. They bombed all. Israel has bombed all existing hospitals in Gaza. There were next to 35 hospitals there. They have been all bombed by Israel. There's no water there, no electricity, no medicine. People are being amputated without any anesthesia. People are being operated on without any anesthesia. And it's Israel who has been blocking anesthesia, medicine, water, food, fuel. But they didn't say no, Israel, since the International Court of Justice has said that it's plausible that there is genocide in Gaza, so we are going to take sanctions against Israel. They didn't do anything like that. They've been continuing helping Israel with money, more than $16 billion, weapons, bombs, arms and advice. Now they say that they'll want to be giving the $1 billion. The $1 billion they have been giving to UNRWA, they want to be giving it to UNRWA. But it's time to tell people the truth. I'm not talking about the United States, nor the European Union or United Kingdom. I'm talking about the Arab nations who are there. Qatar has clubs in France. Qatar is the owner of Paris Saint-Germain. They spend too much money over there, and they can't even give $1 billion to those suffering, to UNRWA, in order to help those suffering population. Qatar has got many billions of dollars. Many billions of dollars. They can't even give a single $1 billion to UNRWA in order to help the Palestinian refugees. They can't do that. United Arab Emirates have billions of dollars. They could have been giving billions to the Palestinian, to UNRWA, in order to help the Palestinians. They have done nothing like that. And they have many billions of dollars. Saudi Arabia hasn't given anything to UNRWA. It's not normal. Those three countries, with Kuwait, Bahrain, etc., they have many billions of dollars. But they deem not necessary to send any billion to UNRWA. The United Nations is calling meetings with those Western countries in order to make them go back, in order to make them change their stance to UNRWA. Those Arab nations who have billions of dollars shouldn't have permitted the West to blackmail the United Nations about the $1 billion that it gives to UNRWA every year. It's because those Arab states were there, aren't Palestinians. They can go to the United Nations, try to convince people. United Arab Emirates, they have been proposing a drafted resolution in order for food and water to go to inside Gaza. You know what happened to this resolution? Those countries aren't Arab countries. There is no dignity in those Arab countries, who have all the means to help their Palestinian brothers, but who prefer to do otherwise. Those Arab countries, those leaders in those Arab countries who don't want to send funds to those UNRWA in order to help those suffering Palestinian people, they are traitors to the Palestinian cause. We don't need you to go to the UN General Assembly to write a draft resolution in order for it to be passed. If you can't help your brothers who are suffering, I think that they are your brothers. You're Arab like them, but you don't care about them. United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar sometimes were helping in order for Gaza to make functionistic, but Qatar can give more than it has been giving. Qatar has both clubs in Europe, which will bring to Qatar nothing. Even Saudi Arabia has been trying to buy clubs in England, in the Premier League. They have clubs there. That will bring them nothing. They prefer giving money to those clubs. They prefer organizing Formula One championship in Saudi Arabia. They prefer playing for boxers in Saudi Arabia. They prefer financing golf players in Saudi Arabia. But they can't give flour to those dying kids. And they dare say that they mind about the terrible and dark situation in which those Palestinians find themselves in because of the gruesome and unacceptable behavior of the Israeli army and of the Israeli politicians. We know, we said that, we told you time and time again, that's not the same. The Saudis, Emiratis, Bahraini, Kuwaiti, Qatari, they are the same as the Western. They are Western, their leaders are Western leaders. They are here to respect the Western leaders. They are not here in order to rule their countries in accordance to the interests of their people. It's revolting to see that they have too many dollars, too many billions of dollars. But they say, no, the Palestinian people do not deserve our help. Let them die there under the bombs. Let them suffer under the rubbles of their buildings. Let them suffer in their hospitals which has no anesthesia in order to proceed in operations. They have no hearts. Dear friends, don't let us not be fooled by those Arab leaders. They didn't even think of taking sanctions against Israel. They didn't even think about cutting off all supplies to Israel, all gas supply to Israel. It's the Houthis who have said, no, we are going to blockade this Red Sea. Because if a ship is going into Israel, if there is a ship owned by an Israeli, or if there is a ship which is going to bring oil or to the Israeli, we want to let this ship go forward. We are going to stop it. It's the Houthis who have nothing, who came to the help of the Palestinians. But those who have billions of dollars, who should have built an agency stronger than UNRWA, the UNRWA, no, they have no heart. They are there in their countries, only to rule in accordance to their own interest. They don't think about the Palestinians. Palestinians are suffering. Palestinians are suffering because none of their Arab countries is daring support Palestine as it should. South Africa has shown the way, but they can't do what South Africa has done. Because they have got no heart. The resistance knows what it has to do. The resistance knows that it has to continue its fighting. It's only because it will be going to fight and continue fighting that they'll be free one day. It's not because they have Arabs like them who have billions or trillions of dollars that they're going to be free. Those people betrayed them years ago with Abraham Accords, and with Saudi Arabia, which was going to sign an agreement with Israel. Those Arab countries, those Arab leaders have betrayed them years ago, and Arabia Saudi was on the point to betray them once again. It's the 7th of October which has changed all. Weren't it for the 7th of October, the Palestinians will be suffering as they used to suffer. Nobody will be paying attention to them. And even the Western press, which is the Nazi press, the Western press, which hasn't talked about, even the BBC didn't show when South Africa was pleading for its case, was presenting its case. They didn't dare show it on their TV. But nevertheless, they showed Israel when it was pleading its case at the ICJ. Western press is a Nazi press. Western leaders are Nazis. Arab leaders, those in Saudi Arabia, in the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar. I mark my word, they betrayed the Palestinians years and years ago. If there was a hint of solidarity with the Palestinian people, those Arab leaders could have made Israel go back in its attempt to colonize all the Palestinian land. But it's because those Arab leaders do not believe in Palestine, do not believe in Arab. That's why Palestinians are going to suffer more and more and more. It's a shame on those countries, shame on those Arab countries. Shame on them. Shame on the Ugandan judge who has been voting no at the ICJ. Shame on her. Shame on the African countries who have been dealing and negotiating with Israel in order to welcome forced Palestinian refugees. I'm talking about the DRC, Uganda, and other countries. Shame on Rwanda, who has been dealing with the United Kingdom in order to welcome those refugees, which is the United Kingdom does not want to welcome in the United Kingdom. Shame on Rwanda. We need great African people. The African people should not accept to be tricked by the Europeans or by the Western people. Because those guys, those Western countries, are the countries who have colonized Africa. They are those who have invented the slave trade, in which millions of Africans lost their country, lost their homes, and died. They are the ones who have colonized Africa, who have stolen all the riches in our continent, from our continent, and who are still stealing the riches from our continent. We shouldn't be here in order to be compromised by those Nazis who are in the West. Our leaders should be standing up and saying no to the West. But it's shameful that Rwanda has signed an agreement with the United Kingdom in order to welcome refugees. DRC was trying to sign an agreement with Israel in order to welcome forced exiled Palestinians. And I think Uganda was trying to do the same. Shame on them. Fortunately, South Africa is here in order to deserve our praises. Dear friends, thank you for your time, and I hope that you like, share this video. Thank you and goodbye.